Hey guys, it's Belinda, and today I'm going to be doing my New York City Teen Authors Festival book haul, which occurred last week. And basically what the festival is for an entire week, young adult authors from everywhere come to New York City for this festival, and there are readings and signings and everything. And so what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to show you every single book that I got autographed from authors during the festival. And this is part one. We'll be starting with my paperbacks that I got signed, and then the next video will be my hardcovers. So, let's get started. First book up I have is The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Now, if you have no idea what this book is or who Stephen Chbosky is, then I have absolutely no idea what rock you are living under. But you should get out of it and you should buy this book and read it. Now, alright. For those of you who do know, I'm quite sure you are all familiar with the plot. This story is about a boy named Charlie. He is new to this high school, and this is basically about his life at this high school with his friends, with his parents, with school, and it's basically a great coming of age story. Now, I read this several years ago, and wow, look at my luck to be able to meet Stephen Chbosky and have it signed by him. I'm going to show you the autograph. Here it is. Belinda, here is to your dream of being an editor. You are infinite. And I told him that I basically want to be a book editor once I finally have a career. So, if you haven't read this book, you should really check it out, because, well, why not? Plus, there's a movie starring Emma Watson in it as the female character Sam, so if you love Emma Watson, which I am sure you do, then you should really read this book and then watch the movie. Next up, I have If I Stay and Where She Went by Gail Forman. Oops, I should do it this way, because this is the first book, and this is the second. So, I have If I Stay and Where She Went by Gail Forman. Now, these two books are really deep, emotional books. If I Stay is the story of Mia, and after a tragic accident involving her and her family, she is not quite sure what to do. And as you can probably tell from the title, If I Stay, she's asking herself what she should do now after this tragic accident. And Where She Went follows the story of Mia. Now, I read these books also a few years ago, and man, did they make me cry. Like, I cry easily, but still, like, I cried, like, so much. The story is just so heartbreaking, but in the second novel, it kind of, like, it gets slightly happier. So, here, I will show you the autographs. I have 2 bookmarks from Gail as well. This is If I Stay's bookmark for Belinda, all the feels. Gail Forman, definitely all the feels. You will feel plenty of feels while reading this. And here is the autograph in Where She Went. For Belinda, rock and read. Gail Forman. Okay, I recommend those 2 books if you are up for a good cry, and if you love young adult contemporary fiction that makes you cry and gives you really emotional feelings. Basically all the feels. Next up, I have Endangered by Elliot Schreffer. Now, whoops, I won't lie, I have never heard of this book until the festival, but I got to sit in on an event where he was talking along with Patrick Flannery, Rainbow Rowell, and David Levithan. And then the day after, when he was again at the main festival at Books of Wonder, I saw him and I saw the book, and I decided to check it out and buy it because it sounds really interesting. This is the story of Sophie, who has to go visit her mother in a sanctuary for bonobos, which are apes, which is why there is an ape on the cover. And basically, her first time there, she thinks it's going to be a little boring and kind of silly, but then she meets the bonobo, Otto, and they have a friendship, and then after that shit kind of hits the fan, and they're like running for their lives and in the jungle and stuff. So this is really different from my usual stories. Like, I'm usually a fantasy or contemporary fiction kind of girl, so a survival story involving a teenage girl and a bonobo monkey would be really interesting. So I'm looking forward to reading this, and it's gotten like pretty good ratings, and it's even a National Book Award finalist. So it's gotta be good. Here, I will show you the autograph. Oh, I also got this postcard from him. Threatened is his latest book. And here is the autograph for Belinda with best wishes, Elliot. And he even drew a little picture of a bonobo, little monkey, right at the top. So that's pretty cool. Alright. Next up, I have Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood. Oh. Now, Brianna is the one that actually told me about this book because she's read it already, along with its sequel, Starcursed, and she recommended it to me. And I didn't buy it yet until the actual festival when I was there, while waiting for the author's time slot to come up, and she convinced me to buy it, so I did. It's a really pretty cover, and as you can probably tell from the title, Born Wicked, it is about witches. And this is from the Cahill Witch Chronicles series. And it is basically a story of 3 sisters and 2 dangerous choices and apparently 1 terrible secret. And not a single person they can trust. They are basically 3 sisters who are witches living in a town called Cahill. And I'm not quite sure what else it's about, but it does sound interesting. So I'm looking forward to reading this and to hopefully read Starcursed after this. And I will now show you the autograph. Belinda, blessed or cursed, you decide. Jessica Spotswood. She's got really neat handwriting. Oh, and here's also a bookmark I got. Oh, here. In the middle, that's Starcursed, and this one over here is Sister's Fate, which is the 3rd one, which will be coming out soon. Okay, next up, I'm moving on to my David Levithan books, or at least the 2 paperback ones that I have. Okay, first up, I have Boy Meets Boy by David Levithan, and then I have Will Grayson by John Green and David Levithan. Okay, let's start with Boy Meets Boy. This is David Levithan's first novel, and if you have absolutely no idea who David Levithan is, I again do not know what rock you are living under, because he's one of the most famous young adult authors of our generation, and this is his first and, dare I say, most popular standalone novel that was only written by him, because it's won tons of awards and stuff. And I just finished reading this yesterday, actually. I finished it in one day, because it's a pretty small book. It's like 180 something pages, but oh wow, is it good. Like, I won't get into details, but it's basically the story, this is basically about a high school story. And the main narrator is Paul. He is a gay teenage boy, and he's known he was gay since he was 5. And this takes place in a small town in Jersey, and wow, I really wish that my high school was like this when I was still in high school. But I'm 20 now, so I can't really go back to high school. But his high school is just so, I can't even describe it. It's so liberal. Yeah, there you go. It's liberal. Like, they're very accepting of LGBT kids and people in general. And I honestly really, really enjoyed this book. And it's funny. It makes you laugh. It makes you cry a little bit. And you'll really love it. Oh, and Paul's love interest in this book, Noah, I have deemed him my book boyfriend, even though he is gay. But I really love him, so I don't care. So yeah, I will show you. Oh, little tidbit, David Levithan was the mastermind behind the New York City Teen Authors Festival. He's the one who started this all these years ago, and he's at every single event, which is great. So I will show you the autograph now. To Belinda, thank you, smiley face, David Levithan. So yeah, I like how he has the two little hearts and he writes in them, like on the cover. Okay, so my last and final paperback that I picked up during the festival is Grayson, as you already saw. This is my final one for paperbacks. So, and basically this is a story about two Will Graysons. They meet each other, and then this is about their friendship and their adventures together, and or at least I'm pretty sure that's what they're about. Yes, that is what it's about. Their lives cross when they meet each other, and they intertwine, and then they just go about doing some crazy stuff, and apparently there is a epic musical on a high school stage, so I'm looking forward to reading this. I've been meaning to read more John Green books since I'm like going through withdrawal, and this will be a great David Levithan book to read. So yeah, here's the autograph. To Belinda. Enjoy! Smiley face, David Levithan. Alright, so that is the end of all the paperbacks that I got signed during the NYCTAF the NYCTAF. Catch my next video for all the hardcovers. Down below I will put the link to my Goodreads and to the information for this festival in general, even though it's already done and over with. But if you ever want to plan a trip for the next one, here's a general idea of how it went down. And again, my Goodreads. Oh, and I also will be providing the link to my Instagram, which is also on my channel, because then you will see me with tons of pictures with various authors. Okay guys, catch you in part 2, which will be the next video by me, Belinda. Bye!